Can you convert a 5-tip article into cash? We're going to answer that question in a moment on episode 52 of the Content Profit Show. Hey, everybody, this is Jeff Herring, your host of the Content Profit Show. Episode, I said 52 in the beginning, but it's actually 53. And we've got Tammy here, who is, this is a really good show for you guys. I want y'all to pay attention to what you're going to learn from her. Coming up this month, we've got a new course called Content Profit Pipelines, basically using your content to build a list of buyers, a list of customers, instead of a list of freebie seekers. Now, I want you to watch this today with the notion of how cool it would be for you to be in this seat, because right down here is a link to do that, contentprofitseat.com. So let's get to the main event here. Tammy Patzer, she has been in my world for a long time. Hi, Tammy.
Hi.
And Tammy is an authority mentor, and she said kind of a hybrid. She gets people on TV, radio, podcast, and then helps them build their book. So she's getting all kind of pieces of authority marketing. So welcome to the show. And how'd you get into this?
How did I get into this? Wow.
Yeah.
Well, seriously, when I was a little girl, my mother was a writer, and I used to interview her on my cassette recorder. So I had this big fantasy that someday I was going to be like a radio host on television.
Great
this
story.
whole thing.
Yeah.
And as time went on, I went to college and I did creative writing and business. I went on to become a college professor in mass communications. And of course, in 2004, Facebook arrived. I really wasn't into MySpace, but Facebook changed my classroom because all my students were playing on the computer. They weren't doing their writing assignments. And what were they doing? They were playing on Facebook. So I learned all about social media. And in the late 90s, I was also a newspaper editor, and I could see that I had to keep up with all of these changes or I was going to become obsolete. So I did keep up, and eventually I did what I would call a new media mash. I was always interested in television, radio, publishing, because my mom was a writer, and everything kind of came together. And I decided, well, if I'm going to do this, because I didn't want to be a college professor anymore and I didn't want to work for the newspapers. So it was like, how do I create something that I can do that really does everything that I like doing? So I started helping people publish their books. I started doing videos. And then television and radio and podcasting, it all became accessible. And so I just decided, okay, all of these things are what I would call blue ocean authority. And I created this system where I helped people write their books, publish their books, become bestsellers, get on podcasts. And then television became my focal point, because when I did it, it was the closest thing that I could create that was like instant authority.
Right. Absolutely.
Purpose and leverage over and over and over again.
And I want to echo that, the authority and the leverage, because when I was a counseling psychologist in Tallahassee, and I was sharing with you before we went live, I mean, there's more therapists than cab drivers in that town. It's teeming with mental health. And so the competition is tough. And it was 94. I was looking for different ways to, build a practice, doing a lot of speaking, that kind of stuff. I started writing a column for the newspaper, a relationship column, and it took off. It got nationally, internationally syndicated. But what I would do, so because of that, I became the guy in the paper. Okay. And then I would cut that thing out of the newspaper, go over to the #1 soft rock morning show in town and do a 3-minute live on Wednesday and record a 3-minute live for Friday. So then I was the guy on the radio. Okay. And then once a month, I'd drive all the way out almost to Georgia to the NBC affiliate in town. And I was the Good Morning Show family therapist. And, Tran would do a 5-minute interview with me. And the one I remember the most, we had the week before I was going to be on again, the two of us and somebody else had been like celebrity judges for some dance thing for Mardi Gras in town. And I had said something teasing to her, been over laughing at the same time she went to poke me, and she stuck a fingernail right in my eye. Oh, did it hurt? So you know how it is on a TV show, from the waist up, they're all professional looking, but from the waist down, they got on sweats maybe. Well, she walked out from behind there to go change to get in the seat across from me for the interview. And I had brought a Pirates eye patch that I put on, and she walked out and she goes, "Get that off." I said, "I can't. The doctor said, you poked me in the eye. Get that off. We're on in 30 seconds. I went, "Tran, I can't," and like with 5 seconds left, I took it off and put it under my leg. It was fun. And then the book piece, my first list on CompuServe was of people that wrote letters to me from the newspaper column, right? And I gathered that into a list. And there's a software called Click Book that'll change an 8.5 by 11 page into 5 by 8 next to each other. And you make a little book out of it, and you can put a paper cover on it, the fancy paper. I did some of those and sold them with little newsletters for $5 in the mail. And Tammy, I thought I'd arrived. I was getting $5 cash for not sitting in front of people nodding my head, And the point of all of that, folks, for y'all, that I really want you to pay attention to today, everything there that I did way back starting in the 90s that blew up my practice, because everybody else in town, when they got a new client, the first question was, "Do you take my insurance, and how much do you charge?" Right? Reasonable questions, right? But what they were really asking is, how little can I pay you, and can I get someone else to do it? Right? Well, because of the media, the first question I got was, "How soon can I get in to see you?" And that made a world of difference. So this stuff is super powerful, and everything I did back then is even more powerful online. So I love your new media mash. That's a cool way of looking at it. So let's take a look at your article.
Okay, thanks.
And we'll go over here. And am I on the wrong screen?
I think you are.
Yeah, I'm showing you my I'm showing you inside my active campaign. Let's change that. Try this again. Hello. All right. There we go. Let's choose this one. Is that the correct one? Yeah, that's it. Okay. We'll leave that in there. We won't edit it out for the show, folks, just to show you that everybody messes up, and that's how you fix it. All right. So 5 ways to leverage your TV appearances for impact, influence, and income. Great title, because the alliteration and all that stuff. Good job. So let's take a look at this. Love the opening graphic. Make it a little bigger for us. There we go. And you do a real good job with, I call it celebrity name dropping, Neil Patel and others about the power of TV, Brian Tracy. And then boom, here's the 5. Okay. And really, as I told you before, this there's so much we can do with this. And this is just the TV part of what you do. There's an empire just right here. And then you add in all the other stuff you do. So you share it on social media. Okay. I know so many people that don't do that, and it's like, come on, embed it on your website, yeah. Um, why wouldn't you, right? And yet, so many people don't ever think about that. Um, I still am amazed at the people that don't have an email signature for as much as they use email. So you can say, with appearances on or a link to it. Um, this upset up it increases your expert ability, certainly as an expert. And then you guys know I'm a little bit into this repurposing thing, um, and so there's look at all the ways you can repurpose. Okay, and so then some more quotes, and then there you go. This is a LinkedIn article. It may be the first LinkedIn article we've done this with, which is cool. All right, so um, now this can become so many things. Okay, but two of the things it screams for, one is a course. Okay, and so we've got the TV appearance article, um, medium traffic, that you can really own this space over there. Um, because I was doing some keyword research for you, and it's there, and there's a lot of people, but you can beat them so easy. Um, and we'll work on that, building that out. Each one of these five can become a module, okay? And you get to decide, Tammy, how big a course you want it to be. You want it to be a mini course module, or you could teach real in depth with this and even turn it into a signature course. But some of the things you could put in there is do a video training, copy and paste this in there, so they have that. Do a checklist of getting ready. Pre, during, and post checklist would be a great thing for TV, because most people don't have a clue about any of those. Remember the first time I got interviewed on TV, I walked into the noon show and was stunned that about 3 feet from me was the weather screen. I mean, those places look huge, right? But they're so tiny. And I was expecting an interview, and the host starts talking to me about the bug in my ear because we're going to take caller questions. And I'm like, okay, this is a baptism by fire. So people need help with this. And then each one, a module on with, you could do, at light, um, video, article, a checklist. You could also do case studies. Um, I bet you some of your prep stuff could be, if you don't already have them, could be turned into templates, some fill in the blank kind of stuff for people. And I've heard those things kind of do pretty good. And so, again, this could be, depending on how deep you go, a mini course, or could all go all the way to a signature course that you're known for. I'm thinking mini because this is TV and you do so much else. And then each one of these modules could be a standalone. I mean, you could do a whole masterclass on, sharing your TV appearance on social media, right? And each one of these, all the way to repurposing the content. Making sense so far?
Yeah, it's interesting because everything, your personal examples are exactly what happens. And I guess my signature course, I actually do have a guaranteed Be on TV course where we go through 4 weeks of trainings, 1 hour per week, and then the end result is you're booked on a real TV show, and you get a 5-minute interview.
And you do the booking?
Yes, I do.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that it's interesting because when I wrote this article, I was really excited to hear your suggestions on how to make it into a course. And the medium traffic, I think, is very interesting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's gonna drive so much for you. It does for me and all my students. And again, folks, I want to underscore, whether you're listening live or to the replay, listening or watching, the power of this, because Tammy, I haven't practiced in Tallahassee for 17 years. Okay. So there's no more column, there's no more radio shows, there's no more TV appearances. And for a while it was weekly, and it's tapered off now 17 years later to monthly. I still get calls or Facebook approaches about people wanting to work with me. And if it's coaching, sometimes I'll do sideline coaching. But the thing I hear the most is, I pulled out one of your columns from my wallet, from my purse, from a drawer, and I'm like, that's 17 years ago. But this has such an evergreen power. This kind of media is just enormous. And so the other thing this screams for, begs for, is some kind of membership where, people like me, people like that you work with, that really want to take this all the way, could do it. And you could do it anywhere from, a very small service delivery time, like, now see, there's a pro. There's a pro, folks. She had to cough, so she muted her mic. There's a pro. And so it could be something small, like you do a live something, live training a month, and a Q&A a month. Okay. If you wanted to beef it up, you could do that weekly. You could do 1 month on TV, another month on radio, another month on podcast, another month on book. Recycle that process 3 times a year, and you've got a year's worth of shows. The beauty of this is that, well, there's a lot of beauties in this, but one is that all of my experience and research shows that about a third of the people that do this end up in a membership. So like if you've got 10 people, you're going to get 3. If you got 1,000, you're going to get 33, etc. And so what would you want to teach? What would you want to deliver in a membership?
Well, I really like to help people go from, 0 to hero. So I like to teach the, how to prepare for media, how to take your expertise and again, mash it up with like what is happening in the news today so that you can actually accelerate that expert status and authority, and to, have that relationship. That I like the membership idea, because I do like to have a relationship with people. Yes. Over time, because you can really see how people can grow, and they do need to be mentored and reminded, like, for example, hey, you need to post this on social media. Yeah. Use this to overcome your imposter syndrome, because this is real.
Yes.
And authority is real. But if you never share, the biggest mistake I see people make is they go on TV and it's for them, it's like over and it's next. They don't repurpose it and leverage it. And I think really, really, that's the key. Why are you doing this? Why are you spending all this time, energy, and money if you're never going to use this stuff over and over again? Like you said, 17 years, and you're still benefiting from what you did, all those seeds you planted years ago. Yeah. And that's what I teach. It's like, okay, these are just 5 minutes, and it's not about being on TV 5 minutes. It's about taking that MP4 video that you get, and you can repurpose it, like you said, into blogs, into social media. You can use it to share it over and over again. I did some, I laugh because I know nothing about finding love on Facebook, but I was on TV for Finding Love on Facebook on Valentine's Day. And I can still use that. It's about 4 or 5 years old, but I look pretty much the same.
Yeah.
And it's tried and true information. And I laugh because, I can use that. I use it about once a year. I'll put it on around Valentine's Day, and people think I was just on TV.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Still using it. And every TV appearance I've ever done, I just rinse and repeat over and over again. And that's what I try to teach my clients. And that share button, it's like push the share button. It's so
Yeah.
simple to
Yeah.
do this stuff.
And once you get going on Medium, you can help them with that too, because Medium's not just text. It's audio, podcasting, video. There's even in one of the biggest publications, they've got a sub pub now that's all podcasting and video. So, I mean, you reach a whole nother audience. So, getting a little glimpse of what's possible here.
Yes.
Any
I'm
questions?
excited.
What's that?
I'm very excited that one of the
Me
reasons
too.
I wanted to participate in your show, and I signed up a long time ago for
You did back in the beginning.
was because of getting that insight from someone else.
Yes.
You know, that creative insight.
Yeah, and that seems to be my thing. I can look at an article and see, 100 things we can do with it. Because really, we've just scratched the surface here. Any questions as we head into wrapping up here?
No, it is very interesting. So I love that idea about the digital empire. So what other courses could I create from this? Like, I do have podcasts. I do have lots of authority information that I can provide. What else do you see in this empire?
It's a great question, really great question. And everybody listening or watching, pay attention to this, okay? Because you're into so many different types of media, okay? What we can do is take this first course, and it doesn't have to be TV, it could be something else, and really create a really good course that becomes your template for, let's say you started with TV, and then you could do this course for podcasting, and this course for live casts, and this course for radio, because you and I know radio still works for people. This course for books, this course for anything else that you teach, authority. And that way you're not having to reinvent the wheel. It's just directed at a different population or skill set. And let's say, you do all 5 of those and they're all pointed at the Medium membership where you do them all. Okay. And that would keep you very busy and build an empire. And then the Medium stuff to drive traffic to it, including your TV stuff and videos, that will get on Medium. So yeah, I'm excited. You're excited. Very cool. We got to wrap up here. Tammy, thank you for being a great guest. I knew this was going to be good and I was not disappointed.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate all your time and especially that creative insight. I really appreciate that.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Folks, if you want to be sitting in Tammy's seat someday, not at her house or whatever, but in a content profit seat, again, the link is right down here. Okay. Contentprofitseat.com. What I want to urge you to do is, if you want to do it now, because Tammy, this is crazy. We're booking into August now. And when I looked at July almost full this week, I thought, because we're doing 3 shows a week. And so I added a 4th one effective the middle of this month. And those are already starting to fill up. So if you want one, get here. Tammy's article will be in the show notes. There is a lot you can learn from her, and I encourage you to do so. Again, thanks, Tammy. Thank you all for being here, making this a great hit show. And as always, you know what to do. Until next time, go use this stuff.